Final score, Gonzaga 80, San Diego State 67. That was Monday night. Graham Ike took 9 shots, made 7 of them. Finished with 23 points, 9 rebounds, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. So now the Zags are 4-0. They got wins over Baylor, Arizona State, San Diego State, and the UMass Lowell, Mississippi Riverhawks. Barring a surprise, a 26 straight trip to the NCAA tournament. That's on the way.
That's on the way.
I think it's reasonable to predict a 10th straight trip to the Sweet 16 might be on tap. And maybe, just maybe, the Zags going to end up in their third Final Four, maybe even the third national title game. Maybe they win the first national championship next April in San Antonio. For what it's worth, right now, Gonzaga is number 1 at evanmia.com. What'd you make, Norlander, of what the Zags did inside Viejas late Monday?
On CBS Sports Network. I was hoping for a good game. Again, San Diego State really not operating on all cylinders there, and it was just not going to happen. In fact, Gonzaga was able to win this despite, B- effort probably from offense. They were only 5 of 20 from 3-point range in the game. Ryan Nembhard had 19 points, 10 assists. He had a really nice game there. And actually, the thread between the first 2 games we're talking about here is Marquette avenged this loss last season against Purdue. Zags did the same thing here. Remember, Aztecs went into Spokane last year and won by 10 over the Bulldogs, which eventually led to that situation where we were in February talking about, like, Gonzaga's kind of going to win this game against Kentucky, or they might have an at-large situation. They made it a 9th straight Sweet 16, so no harm, no foul there. But yeah, GP, Fewey's team got out to an early lead and was able to keep, I wouldn't even say arm's length. I think San Diego State was even further than that. And Nick Boyd was the FAU transfer. He had himself a good game. He had 23 points for San Diego State. But Gonzaga was able to play into SDSU's physicality. I think it went 27 of 31 from the foul line in this game. So it got to the line plenty and made most of its shots, which – you win and lose a game for 24 different reasons, but if you are able, that's one of those things where if you're able to get 30 free throw trips in a game and you're hitting at above an 85% rate, things usually will tend to work themselves out and you'll find yourself on the winning side after 40 minutes. And that's exactly what happened here to get Gonzaga to 4-0 and get a true road win. Will almost certainly be, we would think, a quad 1 road win by the time we're looking at resumes here, and that might wind up being an important data point if they're going for a 1 seed there. So good on them. San Diego State remains a wait and see. We talked about it in the Mountain West and Best of the Rest preview show. There's just been a lot of roster turnover here. There's some question marks about offensive reliability with the Aztecs. Dutcher has done a really nice job here, but we're about to learn more about San Diego State because it's gonna be playing some big time opponents on neutral floors here. So it's got Creighton, it's got Oregon and the Players Era Festival. So that kind of stuff is coming up, and we'll wait and see on more. But this to me was more about, can Gonzaga go into a really harsh environment and win the game by any means necessary. It didn't even need by any means necessary. It got it done. Ike and Nembhard were the 2 standouts.
Yeah, San Diego State, they just lost so much. They're not what they've been. That seems pretty clear. But that building is still, you go in there and win in that environment, you've done something. And so that was impressive stuff from Gonzaga. They now have 5 players averaging at least 11.5 points per game. Graham Ike's at the top of that, 14.5. He's only averaging 18 minutes per game because there's been so blowout.
Really? That's a pretty surprising stat there.
He's averaging a 14.5 points in less than 18 minutes per game.
Wow.
The Zags right now, number 1, I mentioned at evanmia.com. They're also number 1 in adjusted offensive efficiency at barttorvik.com. Caleb Battle, he's in his 6th year of college, 4th different school. He's 14.3 points, shooting 55% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. I think obviously that won't hold up, but off to a great start. They're not turning the ball over. Their offensive turnover percentage is 12.3. That ranks 11th in the country. Just rock solid, Shaka Smart said what he said about Purdue last night. Outside of UConn, they got the best program, and I'm not here to argue that, but if he'd have said the exact same thing about Gonzaga after beating Gonzaga, I wouldn't argue with that one either. There were some people who thought maybe the changing landscape of the sport, Tommy Lloyd leaving for Arizona, might make that program dip a bit. And I understood the argument, understood it. It just hasn't happened really yet. They're rocking and rolling like always. And I'm not predicting this will be Mark's best team, but they are number one in some of the computer rankings right now.
Yeah, Battle, we've talked about. He wears that Gretzky 99, which I still, still taking a minute to get used to there. But yeah, he started his career at Butler, played at Temple he was on Temple's roster for 3 seasons. Obviously had injury issues. Arkansas a season ago, and that didn't go so well. And so now he's he chose wisely, because he didn't make the tournament at Arkansas or Temple, but he's gonna do that here at Gonzaga. Gonzaga is going to play in the Battle for Atlantis upcoming, so they've got some really good and nice opportunities. A good win for the Bulldogs, and as we'll get to some games ahead here. What's been nice about this week is we've gotten some appealing, at least one per night, appealing non-con game to watch. So Gonzaga San Diego State was the only one on Monday, and then on Tuesday you had Purdue and Marquette. And we'll get to what to look ahead here, but it's been pretty good, and there's been at least something for college basketball fans to look at here.